Morning, everyone. We're starting the Torah Ohr on our weekly Parshat Va'Yeshev. What's special about our weekly Parsha is the dreams. Yosef goes and shares the dreams with his brothers, and his brothers envy him, and he tells them dreams that all come to one conclusion, that he's going to become king, and everybody's going to come and bow to him. But the idea is dreams. Now, when we're talking about dreams, Chassidus wants to explain to us what is the depth of dreams. Really, before we get to Chassidus, let's try to think. In our culture, in the worldly culture, we see something very interesting. The word dreams, is it good or bad?
I think it's good.
You'd say it's good. Use it like in American culture. How do you use dream in a good sense?
Dreams can be an outlet.
Huh?
It's an outlet.
Right. I'm not asking the actual dreaming.
Oh,
I'm asking the idea of dream. Where in the American culture do you feel that it's good? Who has a good example for that? It's called the American dream.
American dream.
What is the American dream?
An aspiration.
An aspiration. A dream coming through is actually making the impossible happen. I remember having once a student in the women's program. She worked for a company in America, and she had a great manager, and every day would walk into the office and say, "We're living the dream. We're living the dream." She told it to me most probably 20 years ago, and it's still stuck in my brain. We're living the dream. Not 20 years ago. Exaggerating. 50. Second Baruch Atah Adi.
Man.
Thank you, Hashem. Coffee in the morning. Like one of those pleasures. So what does it mean living the dream? Living the dream is I have an aspiration. That aspiration is not so simple to achieve but when I'm actually successful in getting a family and a white picket fence and what is the American dream? A wife, a kid, 2 kids, and a dog, and a white picket fence. What's the American dream? I don't know. Has it been updated lately?
It's much just that, like wife, kids, like a minivan, and
To live in a house.
Have a house, not to live in a building.
House in the suburbs.
House in the suburbia.
Yeah,
And a white picket fence is not important anymore nowadays.
No, not really. It's just It's just a shtick at this point.
It's just a
Shtick.
shtick. Yeah. Okay. Nice. On the other hand, the word dream could also be used in a negative. Now, who could help me? When do we use it in our culture? Use it in negative?
Like to
What are you
negate,
talking
to negate
about?
someone's sort of stream.
Exactly. You negate someone's thoughts. You want to say, "What are you talking about? You're dreaming." That usually comes with a roll of the eyes. You know how to roll the eyes?
Yeah.
I'm dreaming. But what are you talking about? You're dreaming. So what is a dream? Something good or something bad? There's a famous story of Rav Kahneman. Rav Kahneman, he was the Rav of Panovich. Panovich was a town in Lithuania, and it was a very famous town in Lithuania, and he was an unbelievable fundraiser. After the war, he wanted to rebuild the 10 big yeshivas of Lithuania. The biggest one that he was successful to build is Panovich. That was like the first one. It's a yeshiva with a few thousand bachrim in Bnei Brak. He then built another one, Grodno. He wasn't successful 10, but he always had like these crazy, wild ideas. It was also before the Holocaust. He used to travel a lot to South Africa because most South African Jews are Lithuanians. So they all respected him a lot. So it's like he used to come to South Africa. He was a very special, clever Jew, and he was very good in fundraising and building yeshivas and things like that. They say one of the famous jokes they say about him is that he once came to a place and the guy said, "I'll give you I don't know how many millions of dollars. You have to promise me that what the institution that you're going to build, people won't wear of their yarmulkes and tzitzis." He said, "No problem." The guy gave him the money. He built a girls' school. It's a girls' orphanage, actually. They don't wear it to nowadays. They don't wear it. Yeah, but he was a very special Jew. So once people said, "Rav Kahanaman, Ponav, you're dreaming." So he said, right, I'm dreaming, but with open eyes. What was he trying to say? He's trying to say, I'm dreaming, but it's the positive dreaming. It's not the negative dreaming. So what is the negativity about dreaming? How does the dream work?
Lack of lucidity, I would say.
Lucidity?
Lucidity.
Lucidity. What do you mean by lucidity?
Your mental clarity that usually accompanies you while being awake.
Exactly. The mental clarity. In the words of the Rambam, we're going to read together the Rambam. The Rambam wrote a book that not a lot of people are aware of. Over here in Israel, there was once a prime minister. His name was Ehud Barak. And he knew that book very well. And he loved to stump Haredi rabbis with that book. Every time a Haredi rabbi would come. So what a Haredi rabbi is famous for? The Gemara, Shulchan Aruch. And he always used to ask them questions in that book. It's called Shmoyne Prokim La Rambam. Anyone ever heard about that book? The 8 chapters to the Rambam. It's basically the book of Rambam on Musar, on human conduct. The Rambam wrote it as an introduction to the ethics of our fathers. It's actually printed over here. We have it in the English Rambam that was like that whole set. So it's one of the volumes in that whole set is called Shmoyne Prokim La Rambam. So the Alter Rebbe is going to quote over here the Shmoyne Prokim La Rambam, and he's going to say that what happens when a person sleeps. What happens when a person sleeps is exactly the same. It's like it looks like Yaakov was a co-author of the Rambam. He says that. He says when a person sleeps, his thoughts still work, but not his intellect. So that's by the way, like you could actually put into a person's. You could affect a person's sleep by just whispering into his ears. The only problem is that you have to do it right before he wakes up, because we dream the whole night. We just don't remember our dreams. The dream that we do remember happens a second before we wake up. Are you aware of that? But what is the idea of a dream? The idea of a dream is that it's thought but not intelligence. When a person is awake, you need intelligence. When a person is when a person is awake, he has the intelligence and the thought. When you're asleep, you have the sleep without the intelligence, and therefore the ideas don't really make sense. In the words of Yaakov, it's lacking lucidity. I'm using it in the right. What does the word lucid mean?
Lucid means
Vividity?
clear and vivid. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if that is what's lacking. So I have to take it back. I'm not sure what's lacking is the vividity. it's lacking the sense. Like you could be 1 second in America, the next second going into your room in Yerushalayim, and then you walk out from your room and your grocery in Kansas City. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you build a discernment on your end.
The what?
Your ability to discernment on your end diminishes.
The ability to
Discern.
discerning, exactly.
Yeah, like I could
That
like,
all
right,
the
like right now, if I have this right here, I'm consciously awake and this is in front of me. But if I'm in a dream, this could be in front of me, but I don't know why. Or I don't know what the context is.
in other words, you're missing. In other words, you're missing context. You're missing anything intellectual. Actually, that's actually a funny thing that I'm going to share now. In the books that describe what you could think of when dreaming, one of the things are that you could dream about flying, a flying ship. It's very funny because actually we have that nowadays. It's called airplanes. But in all the ancient books that describe something outlandish, what is outlandish? What is outlandish? Ability to get onto a ship and the ship will fly.
Or just the ability to teleport. On Merriam-Webster, it says like having full use of one's mental faculties as well.
So lucidity is the right word.
Lucidity is
Yeah, thank you. You taught me a new word.
If it's not exactly the right word, it's quite close.
Cool. Very good. Very good. What does that mean in service of Hashem? Says the Alter Rebbe. What does it mean, service of Hashem? The Alter Rebbe says, what is the ultimate contradiction? We wake up in the morning, we learn some chassidus, we daven, and when we daven, we see clearly that we want to be connected to God, and we will see clearly what's really important in life, and we see clearly everything is pretty clear. Everything's pretty clear. What happens the second we finish davening? We forget about everything. We go to the bank. We go into work. And we forget about all those things. That's living the positive dream or the negative dream. The negative dream. Now we might want to call it, this is a nightmare. What is it? What is a nightmare? A nightmare is a terrible dream. The dream doesn't make any sense. But since we're in Golos, and in Golos, we're going to see in this minor, that Golos is called a dream, the bad dream, and therefore, because we're living in the bad dream, we're lacking lucidity. And the lack of lucidity in Avodas Hashem is that over here you understand that the truth is godliness. And right after davening, what do you think about? Right after davening, you act completely different. Right after davening, you just think that really this world is the real. The reality is only things of this world. That's the nightmare. That's the bad dream. One last thing before we're going to do some text inside, even though usually our class is not a textual class, but in order just to keep us in context, we say the verse says, it's Psalm 130. Who has a Tehillim? Where's the Shir Ha'Malot that we say before benching on Shabbos?
One,
135.
Is it?
Sure.
B'Shuv Hashem 135.
I think so.
We could turn on there. We could turn on the
130,
computer.
130 is Mimarakim, I think.
Was Mima Makim?
It's
130 is Mima Makim. So where is that?
wait, so it's 130, 135.
I
Yeah,
think
it is.
130.
No, it's not
135.
135.
Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you, Zach. It's 135. What does it say over there?
Which sentence?
it's not 135.
The first sentence. Shir Ha'Malot is the song for the.
Shir Ha'Malot Tine Baruch Hu?
No, that's 135.
That's 134. with David Hine Matov.
I lied.
No, that's not a lie.
126. I believe.
It's not a lie. You
I-
really deceived us.
I don't.
Oh, yeah.
That
You
bothers
led
me
us
too.
astray.
Yeah, that bothers me too. I
What?
lied. People say that I lied when they made a
126.
mistake. I mean,
Yeah?
it's lingo,
I was
but
intentionally deceptive.
Yeah, it's once like a foreigner and they picked up
One-
like I lie, like
it's
we're
126.
No, where? Which one is it?
126.
126.
Yeah.
126. Nice. So what does the 126 say?
Sure.
So I want to hear your interpretation for 126. Why do you think I made you open this? Oh, you got the new app.
Yeah,
The cool. It's a very good new Tehillim app.
It's a genius by Chabad and the Chabad Sitter app. At the end of the davening, it has a link to the Tehillim app. So you buy the Tehillim app too.
Amazing.
it says 137.
126 we said. What is 126? I want to hear the interpretation for the first verse. What does it say over there? Boaz?
Song of Ascents. When will the Lord return the exiles of Zion? We will have been like dreamers.
We will have been like dreamers. Who could interpret that? We will have been like dreamers then, or we will have been like dreamers now.
It's interesting. Mine says different. It says when the Lord returns, the returnees to Zion, we shall be like dreamers.
We shall be like dreamers. Exactly. That's exactly the point I'm trying to say. When you read this verse could be read in two ways. When is the dream happening? Now in Golus, or when Mashiach comes? So if you already learned some Chassidus, so you understand that this is very typical for Chassidus to do. On one hand, we're going to see the problem of the dream. But then we're going to see the problem of the dream really stems from something very deep and essential, that a dream really in its pristine state is the greatest thing. And that's why there is the nightmare that is called dream. There is the greatest living the dream. The nightmare that is called dream is going to be in Golus. It's connected to the dream of Mashiach. And what is the common denominator of both? Once you get this, you got the whole mind really in a nutshell, and then we're going to learn it inside. What's the common denominator between the nightmare and the living the dream? They're both
reality.
They're both not reality. They're both not reality. They're both don't make any sense. One doesn't make sense because it is... Maybe I didn't... I'm saying we're using the word reality different. I'm sorry, Zach. Again. Yeah, Zachariah, say. What do you mean both are reality? We're trying to say that a dream, a bad dream, is a contradiction, living a contradiction. When you daven, everything is clear that it's all godliness. 5 minutes after davening, you're running after making a buck, and you forget everything goes down the drain. Don't give up. So that's lower than reality, right? Reality, again, I don't want to use. I think we both agree, just using the words differently.
Right.
So let's choose a word that makes sense. Everybody, help me, guys. Yeah.
What word are we looking for?
I'm looking for the common denominator between the bad dream and the good dream. What is the common denominator? It doesn't make sense. In all cultures, we see, even in this pasuk, you could interpret this pasuk two ways. You could interpret the pasuk, we will have been like dreamers, when God will return the captivities of Zion. What's more pertinent than that nowadays when we have more than 130, I think we have still 136 captives in Gaza. So when God will return the captivities of Zion, we will have been like dreamers when? Now or then?
Then, which is such a weird statement to say.
So that's what I'm saying. It's both. Because both when something is crazy, this is like a bad dream, we're in a bad movie.
The thing is, why would you be like a dreamer when something happens?
We will have been, the two ways of interpreting, again, which interpretation is harder for you to accept? that we will have been like dreamers now. It's like I'll wake up from the bad dream. It's like telling a person like one day.
Oh, so it's like saying we were dreamers in the past, but now we're not.
Exactly. Oh, we finally came to lucidity. We finally made it out of that horrific dream.
Yeah.
On the other hand, another way of reading it is we will be like dreamers. What? Pinching ourselves. What's going on? The captivities of Zion came back. So what is the common denominator between the dream that doesn't make sense realistically and that's where I confuse the words reality and realistic. That the and achieving something that is not realistic, living the dream. What's the common denominator between the two? That both are what?
Better word for this is uncanny. No.
No.
Both are not realistic.
Yeah.
Right.
One is beneath realism and one is beyond realism. Beneath realism is that I'm living a confused life and I'm lacking lucidity, and therefore 1 second it's godliness, the other second it's gashmias, 1 second I complain, the other second I'm happy. I'm like one big mishmash. I don't have any intelligence to really give me that clarity in life. What is important? What is not? What is my value system? What do I value the most? What is my intention in life? And so on and so forth. That's living in the nightmare. That's living the bad dream. Oh, wake up from your dream. How to say in English? Wake up, smell the coffee. What does it mean, wake up, smell the coffee? You ever heard that expression, wake up, smell the coffee?
No, that might be a little bit.
No, they don't say that in Texas? What do they say in Texas? Wake up and shepherd the cows.
Not where I'm from, though.
But
Go a little far east to me, then you'll hear something like that. You'll hear the rooster in the morning.
Okay, so the people from the urban areas, do you ever hear that that saying, wake up and smell the coffee?
Smell something. Smell the roses? No.
Smell the roses. Is
We
what
had
I
it
think
in-
they'll
Stop,
play
stop,
into.
smell the roses.
Actually-
We had it in New York.
You had it in New York. What does it mean, wake up and smell the coffee? Get back
Get with
to your
Go
senses.
with the program.
It's not only get with the program. Coffee wakes you up.
Gets you back to yourself, yeah.
Coffee wakes you up. It's like so I drink coffee in Chassidus class. Otherwise, my Chassidus classes would sound like.
Also, you did remind me. I woke once in my life woke up to a rooster in Texas. Like, in the rural part. Very, it's very like the movies.
Waking up to the rooster. So wake up and smell the coffee. Smell the coffee means get with the program. Connect to reality. I get with the program, but the idea is smelling coffee like wakes you up. It's a strong smell. So on one hand, Golus is called, but then Geula, Mashiach, is also called dreaming. Why is it called dreaming? Because it's beyond reality. So in this verse, we have both. That's the power of Joseph. The power of Joseph is to interpret dreams. What does it mean to interpret dreams? So we're going to see, this is the idea in the Mimer. To interpret dreams is, what does it mean, Avodas Hashem? Basically, the point in the Mimer over here, to interpret dreams, is the ability to connect the beneath reality. Ezra, I lost you? No? What?
I think I was reading some coffee.
Yeah.
You just need coffee.
I think so.
Okay.
Right there.
So what is Yosef's job? Yosef's job is to take unrealistic goals and shoot to the stars and achieve beyond reality. It's like, in other words, taking the non-realistic and making it. That's really Yosef's life. We're going to have we're still going to have a few classes to describe Yosef and his so to say his personality according to Chassidus, and the meaning of that. But what in our Maimer, what is important, the idea of dreams, is that when you have a bad dream, don't get turned off by that. Connect it to a higher place, which we're going to explain more how it works in Avodas Hashem. Got the basic idea? I just want to say that this is one of the Mamarim in Chassidus. That's why I love learning with my students Torah Ohr and look at the Torah, because these are the basics of Chassidus. But for example, on this Maimer, there's a lot of Mamarim based on this Maimer. I'm sorry, but the Rebbe even has Mamarim based on this Maimer, which is basically based on the same idea. Also on our weekly Parsha, if you're interested, I'll show you afterwards, like where you could look up to see the Mamarim that the Rebbe said based on this Maimer. But this is basically the idea. The idea is of taking things that are below reality, below realism, not reality, I'm sorry, beyond being realistic, and connecting it to a place that is beyond being realistic. Does that make sense, Boaz? Below realistic and beyond realistic?
Not really.
Not really. We're going to explain. We're going to dive into it. We're going to make sense of it. Let's do at least the negative. Which what page? We are, those of you that are at home, it's page 56. And those of you that are using the Mayanot booklet, it's on page 15. To order your copy, call 1-800. Let's do the Maimer inside. Everybody has a Shir Ha'Malot. You have it? Everybody has a Shir Ha'Malot? So you're on the second half of the book. The first half of the book?
I'm on the wrong side?
Va'Yeshev, early on.
Yeah, in the beginning. Exactly. Page 15.
I forgot it doesn't go.
No problem. So I forget every day. Very good. Shir Ha'Malot is the song for the steps. B'shuv Hashem Shivas Tzion, when God will return the captivities of Zion. Hayinu kecholmim, we were like dreamers. Or another interpretation, we will have been like dreamers. Hine, says the Alter Rebbe, HaChaloim. What is Chaloim? The dream. U'mechaber shnei afeichim b'noiseh echad. A dream. What describes a dream? That it connects two opposites in one topic. Umarkiv shnei inyonim hofchim, it combines two opposites. Ke'ilu hoyu la'achodim, as if they're one. I'm talking to my Israeli grocer in New York, like in a grocery in New York. Like it doesn't make any sense. The hainu, and that is mipnei, because ki b'sheina, when a person sleeps, nistalik moichaseichol, his intellectual brain goes away, hamafchin, that could differentiate, v'loi nishar, and it doesn't stay, rak koyach hamadama, only the power of
The earth, the ground?
madama.
Oh, inside the mud. Sorry, I was like,
Very good. You're good. That's so good. No. That was actually a very intelligent mistake. Madama is imagination. Madame, dimyon. Madame is like. Ledamot, to similar. Dimayon is imagination.
So
Hamadame,
so he's like only the power
of imagination. The koyach hamadama, and the power of imagination, yochel harkiv, could combine, could construct, beis in yonim hafchim, two opposite concepts. Kemoi, as I told you before, what is the ultimate example that they used back in the day to describe some unrealistic imagination? Sfina, a ship, rotza ba'avir, that is flying in the sky, in the air. Isn't that cool?
Why don't they say
It's like
camel?
that was like a common example back then for imagination, and then people just made the dream come true. That's actually a beautiful example to what our mimer is. People for thousands of years have been like, oh, what's going on? You're like imagining. What am I imagining? Like, what do you think? You could fly? This is, yeah, okay. Ultimately, humankind made it a reality.
I thought they used the word camel.
Huh?
I thought they used the word camel. Flying camel.
Also, flying camel is also quoted in our sources, a flying camel. It's interesting. Most probably, I don't understand it exactly. You have to ask the psychologist more. But I think people are fascinated with the idea of flying.
100%.
Yeah, Batman
Because
flies.
we attribute flying to freedom.
Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
It's almost like liberating.
Free.
It's liberating. So
Yeah,
instead
like
of
we're
driving
living-
your car from England to New York, you just get onto, then you fly there.
Well, it's like the whole obsession, like with basketball, like jumping. People who jump higher and higher and higher. It's like you're like
Like
the
flying.
coolest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Very
people
cool.
love it.
I remember once being in South Africa, and I flew from Johannesburg to Cape Town, and there was there were I was sitting between two people. They were talking the whole way, but they didn't want to change because they liked their seats. One had an aisle seat, and the other one had a window seat. But they were talking, and they were talking about their paragliding, not paragliding.
Paragliding.
Paragliding or like how do you call it when you jump out of skydiving? It's like you say, like people are fascinating. Or how do you call it, bungee jumping? Like all these things that people are fascinated with. And I remember a line that stuck with my brain, and I bragged about it afterwards. That someone was asking others, so what flying are you doing? So the next time I came back and I bragged, I said, listen to the line that I heard someone over asking someone, what flying are you doing? It's like you have to fly some way, like, but like Boaz says, that's the idea of freedom.
Yeah, it's
But
liberating.
it's liberating, but an airplane is like not so liberating in my eyes.
No,
But
of course it is. Think about like the plane.
they should come up with airplanes that are not closed, like that are more, like maybe that should look like a Porsche,
Have you heard of a paramotor?
paramotor. No.
It's like you basically strap like a huge propeller engine to your back, have
That sounds
a
fun.
parasail, and get a good running start the engine,
It's a
and
good running start.
it's
But that's not paragliding.
paragliding. Isn't that when you're
These Nazis
No,
from Gaza, how did they come in?
they use
Paragliders.
paramotors. They actually
Yeah.
paragliding. With it's weird because parasailing is when you're being dragged by a boat. I thought paragliding you're probably being dragged by something as well. If not, then it could be the same thing. Yeah.
Okay, but you see, humankind took this crazy dream and made it into reality. Like the Rambam writes in his 8 chapters. Yeah, I described before what is the book 8 chapters. That's the idea of dreaming. When a person sleeps, his intellect is gone, and what is left? Only his power of imagination. Only it's when a person wakes up. When a person actually wakes up, what happens when he wakes up? The power of intellect wakes up. This is sholet. How do you say sholet? Controls on the power of his imagination. And it doesn't let him to combine or construct two opposites. Why? Why can't you do that when you're awake? Why is it when you're awake it doesn't make sense to have a dream of going into your grocery from Yerushalayim, middle of Texas? Why? Because he sees with the eye of his intellect that there are two opposites, they're two separate things, and you cannot combine them. Right? So wake up and smell the coffee. What does it mean wake up and smell the coffee? Wake up and smell the coffee means Then what do you think?
Get back to your intellectual self.
Exactly. So if you see a lazy bum, a college kid, not getting out of bed, just sitting and playing Fortnite the whole day, and he has a test next week, his mother might tell him, like, hello, wake up and smell the coffee. How are you going to pass the exam if you don't start studying?
Cram like 2 hours before.
Yeah, cram 2 hours before, right? The kacha inyan begolos, the same idea is also in Golos. What is the dream of Golos? There's even a song like that, no?
I guess there's a dream.
Wake up, Yidden, from the dream of Golos. Don't.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so it's insinuating that we're in some sort of some sort of
Haze. We're some right.
So it's not, we're actually like where we need to be.
Exactly. We're not really with our senses. No, is there a song like that? Can you look up on YouTube? Wake up, Yidden, from the dream of Golos.
Let's see.
No, it's a camp song or something.
Definitely heard the tune before.
The tune is camp songs are not good in making new tunes. They're only just take lyrics onto other nigunim.
Wake up, Yidden, what was this?
From the dream of Golos.
Trying to specify this, make sure you get the right video. If I get it.
If not, we could always blame it on
You play
YouTube.
it? You play it?
Let's hear it.
It's with the Rebbe.
Oh.
Oh, that's not it. Right?
That's it?
I think the lyrics are. Oh. That's that they were showing how they were singing this in front of the Rebbe.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Wake up!
Very intense music.
It's kids. Sensation.
Oh, there we go. Oh, wow. Okay.
Wake up from the dream I'm gonna get ready to read. Moshiach season, Geuloi coming quickly to our darkness. They met. I'm passing through the reading of my word. I'm on the night side.
There's something about young Jewish kids singing that never disappoints.
I don't know the words in English. What's the word I get? What?
They're good, no, they're good.
Where
Watch the Gula with the Rebbe Shlita.
where are those concerts? Like,
Where
No,
where
it's
these
camp.
concerts?
It's camps. They used to come. The camps used to come to the Rebbe one day, and they sung it in front of the Rebbe.
You see in the video, yeah, they're all wearing their white button-down shirts. They had the camp T-shirt.
the
over
camp T-shirt over it. Yeah. So what does it mean? Wake up, Yidden of the dream of Golos. Says the Alter Rebbe, Kachoinin beGolos. The same ideas in Golos. Ultimately, what does Chassidus want from us? Obviously, we have to care about the world issues, but all the world issues stem from our own small issues that we're still in our Golos. How did the Rebbe say? Everybody always quotes the Rebbe before he passed away. The last 2 years, the Rebbe wasn't feeling well, but the last 2 years before that 2 years, the Rebbe spoke. There was a lot about Mashiach. Mashiach has to come and everything. But the Rebbe once said that we're still in our own personal Golos. What does it mean, our own personal Golos? That haze, that confusion. Let's see inside. The Kachin beGolos, the same ideas in Golos. Nitzitzilakus, the spark, godly spark. Benefesh Adam, in the soul of man. Shu bechinas Sheina, that he's in a level of sleep. Vistalkus amoichin, and the lack of intellect. Therefore, yochlu laharkiv beis dvarim hafchim. Therefore, the person could combine two opposite things. Lios kalayom torud b'masel matan, to be the whole day busy, doing business. Ish levitzoy miktseu. This is a play on the words. of a pasuk, but basically what it means that everybody is involved in his making some money. So this person goes to his olive tree, and this person goes to his other. Everybody goes to his business. Hagam, even though shabbat when a person davens moeders ahavat shetechbot, even though that when a person davens he evokes the love. But still he really desires lispashet milavushea. When a person davens, the love to Hashem is so great that he is willing to strip his clothing. His clothing, meaning to say, what does it mean strip his clothing? Clothing is thought, speech, and action of a Jew. The clothing of being involved in the physicality of the world, to connect unto God, to cling unto God, because of his boinunus. What does his boinunus mean?
Building up within yourself.
Contemplation. Hidbonunut is contemplation. In the higher unity and the lower unity. That's the concept in Tanya, that there's two levels of understanding God's unity, the lower understanding and the higher understanding. Afal pikein, still, how would you translate the word afal pikein? Nevertheless, thank you. Achrat tefillah, after davening. What happens after we davening? Cholef is ve'eres ahava. That love that we had before just goes away. Ve'enei som leliboy, and the person doesn't see. And he doesn't realize simat lev in Hebrew nowadays too means doesn't give attention. He doesn't give attention. The way he acts during the whole day, it's exactly the opposite of what he has contemplated and meditated in davening. And he's trying to, with using his imagination, and he imagines in his heart laharkiv, to combine ulachaber, and to connect Shnei inyonim hafchim yachad, two opposites, ki'ilu hoyul achadim, as if they were both one. Ube'emes, but in truth, and nifrodim, they're separate. They're rechoikim zemizen, they're far from each other. Ki agam dechsiv b'Torah shesh tizah sodecha. Even though that it says in the Torah you should work in your fields for 6 years. V'chein b'krishma, also in Krishma. Lovdim cholavavchem esatan taratzchem v'safta deganecha. The Torah is full with the concept that we have to go to work. Yeah, we have to work. Well, some of us already work now, part-time, full-time, but it's good. Torah believes in work. There's nothing bad with working. It's good to have a job and make money. This is all very, very important things that the Torah encourages. All of this is in a way of avodah. When we work, we're trying to elevate the sparks. In other words, even work is meant to be in a spiritual way. The idea of the 6 years working is the idea of elevating the sparks, and then having the 7th year, the idea of Shabbos. I don't want to go into the whole idea, but basically, according to Chassidus, we elevate the sparks the whole week. And when do we basically rejoice the elevation of the sparks? It's like a person works the whole year, he collects money and then goes on vacation. So everything that he has earned, Shabbos is the time when we are, so to say, partying with all the sparks that we have elevated the whole week. Therefore, the holier our week is, meaning to say not holier in terms of not working. We're meant to go to work during the week, but the more focused we are in our work in order to reveal godliness, then on Shabbos it's on a higher level. And really, all these things, it's all about, good morning, Rabbi Cohen, all these things are based on the person's intention, but the heart of the masses, that also only their tendencies after their money, it's all about making some bread. Their heart doesn't think that way, and their heart is not right al pi hakavana reuya, according to the right intention. Rak, only kol yisham chol cheftzam, their whole intention and their whole desire is lamalo is they machsoida mashiach salem tzorchei gufam voisim tzorchei guf iker, and they make their most important endeavor in life is for their physical needs. And that is directly in contradiction to what they felt in prayer. Because in davening, it was all about having a love to God without having any love to anything else, God forbid. So basically, the way we live in Galus, the way we live now, that on one hand we try to be spiritual, we try to daven, we try to learn, and then we go into the physical world and we're all engrossed in that, that is quite a nightmare. And what do we want? We want to wake up of Galus. But we're going to see there is a deeper idea. The deeper idea, what we're going to say is that when we're going to wake up from Golos, we'll understand that Golos wasn't really a contradiction. Living the dream. Because then we're going to be in the dream. So ultimately, we want to continue dreaming. Dreaming with open eyes. Achieving our dreams. L'chaim, l'chaim.
I was gonna